What is up, everybody? JT Dangerous here once again. I am back for my Week 17 NFL predictions. Now, Week 16 just finished with the Philadelphia Eagles defeating the Oakland Raiders on Monday night, on the final Monday night game of the year. So our record finishing up Week 16 was a pretty solid 12-4 record. So Week 16 was pretty good for us. I mean, we had some surprising losses from the Jacksonville Jaguars to the Detroit Lions. So it was not too bad of a week, but we finished up strong. And we're going into the final week of the season. We're on a 2-week winning streak, and hopefully in this video we will make it 3 going into the postseason this year. Hopefully. Now, before I begin, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching all the videos on the channel up to this point, especially last week's NFL predictions. We had over 315 plus views from you guys. You guys super kicked that like button 8 plus times, and it was over 30 comments from you fantastic NFL football fans representing your teams, your picks, and as always representing your opinions on everything that is the NFL season going into the playoffs. So I do want to thank you guys so very much for showing your love in that video last week, and hopefully in this video you guys will show your love once again by watching the video, super kicking that like button, and representing your teams, your picks, and your opinions in the comment section down below. Now, if you have not checked out my other video I put up today, which is my official Wrestle Kingdom 12 2018 predictions, definitely go check that out if you're a huge New Japan Pro Wrestling fan with the biggest show of them all for New Japan. Definitely go watch that if you have not seen it yet. Now, being this is the final video in 2017 on my channel, I do want to thank each and every one of you guys for making 2017 on this channel a huge success. I cannot say thank you enough. Showing your love on every video I put up, from 1 video to 6 videos. Thank you guys so very much for showing your love on each and every one of those videos. And you know 2018 is coming up, and I cannot wait to continue the success on this channel. And it's all thanks to you guys. You guys give me the support to do these videos every single day. So once again, thank you for a great 2017 and on to 2018. Now, being New Year's Day is Monday, I do want to wish you guys a very happy and safe Happy New Year from the Dangerous Lions here. So hope you guys did have a solid 2017, and we look on to 2018. We got some great. Hopefully we're gonna have even big moments on this channel. So hope you guys have a very happy New Year. Now, we are at 280 plus subscribers now on the channel, so I do want to thank you guys so very much for supporting the channel. To new subscribers, thank you guys for super kicking that subscribe button, and welcome to the Dangerous Alliance. It is great to have you guys here. And to my longtime subscribers, thank you guys for sticking around, supporting the channel, and as always, killing it. Now, this is your first time watching my channel as a first-time viewer, and this is your first video. Boy, you picked a good one for the final week of the NFL season. Welcome to the Dangerous Alliance. I am JT Dangerously, and welcome to the club, because this club is just 2. Whoop, whoop. Again, thank you guys so very much. Now, other than that, let's get right into these Week 17 NFL predictions. Now, let's start off with the first matchup. It is a huge NFC South showdown with a lot of playoff implications, featuring the Carolina Panthers heading to the Georgia Dome to face the Dirty Birds, the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Carolina Panthers are coming off a big win at home over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday, clinching a playoff berth in the NFC playoffs. Cam Newton did not have his best game, but he got it done when it mattered most in the end of the fourth quarter. So once again, Panthers are in the playoffs, and they're also looking to get some leverage in the NFC playoffs. Then on the other side, you have the Atlanta Falcons, who are coming off a tough loss on the road to the New Orleans Saints on Sunday. Matt Ryan just did not look good. Devontae Freeman did not have his best game. He even had a butt fumble. Yes, we got another butt fumble, and the Falcons got it this time, other than the Jets, but they just too many missed opportunities at the goal line, getting stopped on 4th down, fumbling the ball. Julio Jones did have 100 yards, but Atlanta is also playing for their playoff lives in this matchup. Now, the playoff implications into this matchup, starting off with Carolina. Now, Carolina wins this game, and New Orleans loses to Tampa Bay. Carolina wins the NFC South. But if New Orleans wins, they win the South, and Carolina will be the 5th seed in the wild card position. Now, on the other side, you have the Atlanta Falcons. Now, theirs is easy. They win, they're in. But if they lose, they'll be watching the reigning NFC champions will be watching the playoffs from home. So a lot of things are at stake at this first matchup. So coming from me in this matchup, this one's tough, guys. Again, Carolina has been kind of a bane to Atlanta, and Atlanta's they're just trying to win to stay in the wild card race. So coming from me, I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers to deny the Atlanta Falcons into the playoffs. And now the next matchup. It is an AFC South showdown featuring the Cincinnati Bengals heading to Baltimore to face the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals are coming off a huge win at home over the Detroit Lions, officially eliminating the Lions from the playoffs. Andy Dalton had a pretty solid game. Giovanni Bernard, straight out of UNC, had a big-time game on the ground with over 100 yards and a touchdown. And Cincinnati got a big-time win, and this is also the final game for Marvin Lewis. So Cincinnati's looking to finish up the year and give Marvin Lewis a worthy send-off with a win. Then on the other side of the Baltimore Ravens are coming off a big win on Saturday over the Indianapolis Colts, clinching a spot in the AFC playoff as a wild card. So they're looking to keep that a lock, keep them at number 5 in the AFC playoffs and a lock to be in it. So Joe Flacco had a big-time game with 2 touchdowns. Collins had a big-time game, and their defense stepped up when they needed them, as always. So coming from me in this AFC North showdown, this one's tough because, again, Baltimore's already in, but they can solidify their spot with a big win. So coming from me, I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals. And now the next matchup, it is an AFC South showdown featuring the AFC South champion, the Jacksonville Jaguars, heading to Nashville to face the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars are coming off their worst, and let me repeat, their worst beatdown this season, losing to the San Francisco 49ers, giving up a 40-burger. Their defense gave up 40 points to a 4-10 team on Sunday. Blake Bortles just regressed, did not look good. Leonard Fournette did get a touchdown, but only had 40 yards. And Jacksonville definitely did not have to lose like that. I mean, they just got shredded. They got exposed, and they're coming in angry, and they're looking to put a whooping on the Tennessee Titans and deny them a shot in the AFC playoffs. Then on the other side of the Tennessee Titans, are coming off a tough loss to the NFC West champion, the Los Angeles Rams. Marcus Mariota did not have his best game. DeMarco Murray does not look like he's going to be playing in this game. He's a long shot, so they could go with Derrick Henry. And Tennessee is also playing for a shot in the playoffs. Now, they're going to have to win. They're going to have to win out and hope the Buffalo Bills or the Los Angeles Chargers lose to be in the playoffs. But again, I don't feel confident with Tennessee being in the playoffs because they're so inconsistent every week. And again, they have a chance they can beat Jacksonville, but again, an angry team usually comes back the next week and blows them out. Case in point, look what happened with Seattle against Dallas. Seattle is coming off that loss to the Rams. The previous week came into week 16 and took down the Cowboys. So look out for angry teams that are coming off losses. So coming from me in this AFC South showdown, I think Jacksonville gets it done. They're going to be angry. They're going to be pissed that they gave up 40-plus points to a 4-10 49ers team. So they're going to be looking for blood and a lot of it. So you better put a little prayer for Marcus Mariota in this game. So coming from me, I am taking the Jacksonville Jaguars to defeat the Tennessee Titans. And now the next matchup, it is an NFC South rivalry showdown featuring the NFC South leading New Orleans Saints heading to Tampa to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now the New Orleans Saints are coming off a big win at home over the Atlanta Falcons. Alvin Kamara had a big-time game. Mark Ingram once again was running that ball like no other, like he did what he did in Alabama as the Heisman Trophy winner. Drew Brees had a big-time game, and their defense had a big-time game getting after Matt Ryan and the Falcons. And they also had one of the craziest fumbles from Marcus Lattimore, which I'm calling the buttception. If you have not seen that interception by Marcus Lattimore, definitely go check it out. It was out of this world. And this Saints team is just a dangerous team to be playing, especially at home. I think they've only lost one game at home this whole season. They're dangerous, and they win this game, they win the NFC South. But you got to look out for Carolina, because if New Orleans loses this game and Carolina wins, Carolina will be the South champions, and New Orleans will be the wild card. So New Orleans is looking to put a stamp in the NFC South as their champions. Then on the other side, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming off a very tough, heartbreaking loss to the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. Famous Jameis had a pretty great game, even though in just a heartbreaking loss, he had over 300-plus yards and 3 touchdowns. Their defense got to Cam Newton a couple times. And Tampa Bay is just looking to play spoiler now, because this season has just been a bust, like I've said a couple of weeks ago. So coming from me in this huge NFC South showdown, man, this one's tough. Again, New Orleans is so dangerous in the NFC playoffs this year. They're going to be so hard to pick against or for. So coming from me, I am taking the New Orleans Saints to wrap up the NFC South and defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And now the next matchup, it is an AFC North battle featuring the winless Cleveland Browns heading to Heinz Field to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now the winless Browns are coming off another loss on Sunday over the Chicago Bears. I guess I was wrong about them winning. They just did not look good, and with that loss, they are 0-15, and they have officially have the #1 draft pick in next year's NFL draft. And coming from me, I think they're going to be looking for a quarterback, and we got some great quarterbacks coming out of college this season. Guys like Rosen out of UCLA, my boy Baker Mayfield from Oklahoma, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen. We got some great receivers and running backs coming out. But if I was Cleveland, again, the Kaiser experiment just did not work. He just made so many big mistakes. And I think they're going to go for a quarterback. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think Cleveland needs as the #1 draft pick, and will they keep it? Because, again, Rosen said that he'd rather be a Giant than a Brown, but that may just be wishful thinking. You got some other great quarterbacks coming out of college in this year's NFL draft. So Cleveland has a lot of options. Coming from me, I would like to see what Rosen's got at the kid Sam Rosen from UCLA. I like to see what Baker Mayfield's got with Oklahoma with Cleveland, but you just never know. And Cleveland's looking to just finish up this miserable year and maybe get their first win. Then on the other side, you have the Pittsburgh Steelers are coming off a big-time win on Monday afternoon over the Houston Texans, clinching their first-round bye. They're fighting for their home field advantage, with, of course, with my New England Patriots. So they got to continue to win and just hope my Pats lay an egg on the last game of the season, which I doubt. But Antonio Brown did not play in this game. He won't be playing in this game as well because of his recovering from his partially torn calf muscle. Le'Veon Bell had a big-time game. Ben Roethlisberger had a big-time game. Juju Smith-Schuster had a big-time game. And it looked like Pittsburgh got back on track after that controversial game against my New England Patriots last week. So coming from me in this AFC North battle, do I see Cleveland winning their first game? Hell no, because if they didn't beat the Bears if they couldn't beat the Bears, they're not beating the Steelers. So coming from me, I am taking the Pittsburgh Steelers to demolish the winless Browns and see the Browns go 0-16. And now the next matchup, two teams in the NFC North playing for absolutely nothing. It is the Green Bay Packers heading to Ford Field to face the Detroit Lions. Now the Green Bay Packers are coming off a tough loss over the Minnesota Vikings at home in that frigid Lambeau Field. Brett Hundley started. They shut down Aaron Rodgers for the year, so I guess that one game against Carolina was his swan song, and it was not his best, so they just shut him down for the season, and they're going to stick with Brett Hundley. Now, again, Green Bay, this was just not their year. They're not in the playoffs this year for the first time in, I think, a couple years, so they're looking into next season. They're looking to have a very healthy Aaron Rodgers and a very good team in the NFC North next season. Then on the other side, the Detroit Lions are coming off that heartbreaking loss to the Cincinnati Bengals on the road, eliminating them from the playoffs. Again, Jim Caldwell is definitely on the hot seat now, because I don't know how much these Detroit Lions organization is going to take with Jim Caldwell coaching them. Maybe they just need a new coach. Matthew Stafford had a pretty solid game, and even in a loss, but losing that game to a team that had nothing to lose and costing them a shot in the playoffs is huge, especially for Detroit Lions fans. So coming from me in this meaningless NFC North battle, just because Brett Hundley's quarterbacking and it's Matthew Stafford, I'm going to take the Detroit Lions to defeat the Green Bay Packers. And now the next matchup, another meaningless matchup in the AFC South, featuring the Houston Texans heading to Lucas Oil Stadium to face the Indianapolis Colts. Now the Houston Texans are coming off just a blowout loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday afternoon on Christmas. They just did not look good. Tom Savage did not have his best game. Lamar Miller did not have his best game. And again, this season has just been a bust for the Houston Texans ever since Deshaun Watson went out and J.J. Watt went out. So Houston is looking into next season. Hopefully they'll keep Bill O'Brien, and hopefully they'll find some protection for Deshaun Watson, because I'm still going to believe that Deshaun Watson is their future at quarterback. Then on the other side of the Indianapolis Colts are coming off a very tough loss to the Baltimore Ravens on Saturday. Jacoby Brissett did not have his best game. Frank Gore did have a pretty solid game. But they just lost to a very good Baltimore Ravens defense and offense. And Indianapolis is another team that's looking to rebuild into next season. Andrew Luck hopefully will be back at 100%, and they'll be a legitimate threat in the AFC South. So coming from me in this AFC South showdown featuring two teams that have nothing to play for, I'm going to go with Tom Savage and the Houston Texans to defeat the Indianapolis Colts. And now the next matchup, it is an AFC East showdown featuring the Buffalo Bills heading to Hard Rock Stadium to face the Miami Dolphins. Now the Buffalo Bills are coming off a very tough loss to my New England Patriots on Sunday. They did give us a little bit of a fight. Again, Calvin Benjamin's touchdown looked like a touchdown, and I know he was saying because it's in New England, they're never gonna get that call right. Again, this is a Patriots fan saying that was a touchdown, and the refs are just being idiots this season with all this. It's incomplete, and he doesn't have full possession. Kelvin Benjamin had full possession of that ball, and I'll even admit that. But they just fell short to a very good New England Patriots defense, and they're looking to get into the playoffs for the first time since 1999, but they need a lot of help. They need the Chargers to lose and the Titans to lose, and they have to win this game. So it's a must-win for the Buffalo Bills. Then on the other side, you have the Miami Dolphins, who are coming off that tough loss to the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday on the road. This is hopefully Jay Cutler's final game as the Miami Dolphins quarterback, and they're looking to next season. They have some great pieces there. Jarvis Landry, Kenyon Drake. They have their great defense. But for God's sakes, you get rid of Cutler, you guys will be fine. You get Tannehill back, you get Matt Moore back, and you guys will be fine next season. And fins will definitely be up for the Dolphins next season. So coming from me in this AFC East showdown with a lot at stake for the Bills, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills to defeat the Miami Dolphins in a close matchup. And now the next matchup. It is an NFC North battle featuring the Chicago Bears heading to Minneapolis to face the NFC North champion Minnesota Vikings. Now the Chicago Bears are coming off a big win at home in the freezing cold over the winless Browns. Mitchell Trubisky had a big-time game. Jordan Howard had 2 big touchdowns. And the Bears are definitely on the right track going into next season with Mitchell Trubisky as their quarterback. They stick with him. They just need some talent on offense and defense and an O-line to protect Mitchell Trubisky. But I think the Bears are in good shape next season in the NFC North. Then on the other side, the Minnesota Vikings are coming off a big road win over the Green Bay Packers on Saturday night. Again, Case Keenum had a big-time game, and they got a huge road win. Stephon Diggs had a big-time game, and their defense definitely got to Brett Hundley multiple times. And this Minnesota Vikings team is fighting for home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs, so they can represent the Super Bowl as the home team. So coming from me in this big NFC North showdown, this one's something. You got Mitchell Trubisky versus Case Keenum. You got Jordan Howard and Talik Cohen versus Latavius Murray, and Jared McKinnon. So you got some great stars on both these teams. So coming from me in this matchup, I am taking the NFC North champions, the Minnesota Vikings, to defeat the Chicago Bears. And now the next matchup is an AFC East showdown featuring the New York Jets heading to Foxborough to face the AFC East champions, my New England Patriots. Now the New York Jets are coming off a tough loss once again to the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday. It was only a touchdown game. Bryce Petty did not have his best game. I can never say this guy's first name, but Bilal Powell, their running back, had over 100 yards in this game against the Chargers. But again, every game, and this is also a rematch of a earlier matchup between these two. And if you remember that game, that one was a very close game. But the Jets can show they can. Every game they had this season were close. Some of them were blowouts, but some of the ones were very close that they could have won. But the Jets are on the right track. I mean, they just need a legit quarterback. They have the talent like Robbie Anderson and Jermaine Kearse and Powell, and they have so many other weapons. But the Jets are on the right track, but they just need to capitalize on big games next season. Then on the other side, you have my New England Patriots coming off a big win at home over the Buffalo Bills. Tom Brady had a big-time game with over 2 touchdowns. Rob Gronkowski had an amazing one-handed catch for a touchdown for him. Dion Lewis, great running back, had 2 touchdowns receiving and rushing, and their defense definitely stepped up, and they're also fighting for home field advantage throughout the AFC. So every team in the AFC has to go through Foxborough to get to the AFC Championship. So coming from me in this matchup, again, this one's going to be a close one, just like the previous matchup. But coming from me, I'm going to stick with the same result. I am taking my New England Patriots to defeat the New York Jets in a close battle. And now the next matchup, it is an NFC East showdown featuring 2 teams that have nothing to play for. It is the Washington Redskins heading to Gotham to face the New York Giants. Now the Washington Redskins are coming off a big win over the Denver Broncos on Sunday. They got it. The no-fly zone was absolutely none in effect. Kirk Cousins had a big-time game. Crowder had a big-time game. Vernon Davis had a big-time game. And this Washington Redskins team is looking to improve into next season. Hopefully they will pay Kirk Cousins the money that he deserves, even though this was not his best season. Just pay the man, because a lot of teams looking at him right now, like Denver. Denver needs a quarterback. Kirk Cousins could be there. Cleveland may need a quarterback if they don't want the number 1 draft pick. But if I was Washington, sign the man, or you're gonna be in the bottom of the AFC East forever. Then on the other side, the New York Giants are coming off a shutout loss to the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday, almost clinching their number 2 draft pick. Now that's an even bigger question: is what would the Giants do at the number 2 position? I mean, they don't need a quarterback, but you just never know. I mean, they may just say Eli Manning his prime is over, so we're going to trade him so we can get a rookie quarterback to get this team back on track, rebuild. But you just never know. But it looks like the Giants are the number 2 pick. They're going to be the number 2 pick in the 2018 NFL draft. So they're just looking to see what they're going to do in June in the draft. So coming from me in this NFC East showdown, I'm going to take the Washington Redskins to defeat the New York Giants. And now the next matchup, it is another NFC East showdown featuring the Dallas Cowboys heading to Philadelphia to face the NFC East champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now the Dallas Cowboys are coming off a monumental loss to my Seattle Seahawks on Sunday at home. They got Zeke the Freak back, but he only gave them 97 yards. Dak Prescott was just manhandled by the Legion of Boom, throwing 2 picks, and Dan Bailey missed 2 clutch field goals that could have got them back into that game. Now, them being eliminated from the playoffs, I can just say right now, I think Brad Garrett is gone. Because, again, they went from a 13-3 team last season to a non-playoff team this season. They were definitely overhyped this season, thinking that success from last season would continue this season. It was just not to be, and the Cowboys are just looking to finish up the season barely at above 500. Then on the other side, you have the Philadelphia Eagles are coming off a big win tonight on Monday Night Football over the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles are also playing for home field advantage. I think if they home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs, because I think they got to continue to win and hope Minnesota falters. But just let me know if they've already clinched home field advantage. Nick Foles had a big-time game. Their defense and offense got it done against a very depleted Oakland Raiders offense and defense. So coming from me in this NFC East showdown, I am taking, even though Philadelphia may be resting a lot of starters, I'm going to stick with the Philadelphia Eagles to defeat the Dallas Cowboys. And now the next matchup, an AFC West showdown featuring the Oakland Raiders heading to Los Angeles to face the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, the Oakland Raiders are coming off that tough loss tonight on Monday Night Football. Again, this has been a complete bust season for the Raiders after being in the playoffs last season to not even being even in contention in the playoffs. They just did not look good tonight. Once again, it's not on Jack Del Rio. I mean, hopefully next season they'll be better. Hopefully Marshawn Lynch will stay and they will stop dropping passes, because that's what the Raiders did all season. Penalties and drop passes. And hopefully they'll get back to the playoffs next season. Then on the other side, the Los Angeles Chargers are coming off a big win on the road over the New York Jets. Phillip Rivers had a big-time game. Melvin Gordon had a big-time game. Antonio Gates had a big-time clutch touchdown as always. And the Los Angeles Chargers are also fighting for a playoff spot, in which if they get in, it would be the first time that two LA teams would be in the playoffs since 1985. And I know you Bears fans remember that year. That was the year you guys won the Super Bowl over my New England Patriots. So it would be something to behold to have two LA teams in the playoffs, the Rams and the Chargers. And the Chargers just need to hope the Tennessee Titans lose and they win, because they already blew out the Buffalo Bills on the Nathan Peterman game. So coming from me in this AFC West showdown, I am taking the Los Angeles Chargers to defeat the Oakland Raiders. And now the next matchup, another AFC West showdown featuring the AFC West champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, heading to Mile High to face the Denver Broncos. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs are coming off a big win at home over the Miami Dolphins. They are finally cooking on all cylinders. Kareem Hunt had a big-time game. Their defense, Marcus Peters had two big-time picks. Travis Kelce had a big-time game. Tyreek Hill had over 100 yards. And now the Chiefs are finally getting back on track. They must have just taken a hiatus after that, losing 6 of 7 games. And now they're cooking when it matters the most going into the playoffs. And this Chiefs team is another dangerous team, but consistent. They got to stay consistent. Then on the other side of the Denver Broncos are coming off that tough loss on the road over the Washington Redskins. Again, this Denver Broncos team is dying for a quarterback. I mean, they got Brock Osweiler. Why? And, I mean, they have the talent, but they just need a quarterback. Kirk Cousins is up there. If they get Kirk Cousins, they have a legitimate chance to be a legit threat in the AFC West next season. So coming from me in this AFC West showdown, I am taking the Kansas City Chiefs to continue the winning ways and defeat the Denver Broncos. And now the next matchup in the NFC West. It's a NFC West showdown featuring the red-hot San Francisco 49ers heading to Los Angeles to face the NFC West champion Los Angeles Rams. Now the San Francisco 49ers are coming off a huge win in Week 16 over the best defense in the AFC, the Jacksonville Jaguars, on Sunday at home. Jimmy Garoppolo, or Jimmy G Money, got it done again. He was just getting it done. I mean, he even did like a one of those, he throws the ball like on a side throw. Like, he was doing things in this game that is just amazing. Jimmy Garoppolo has been perfect for the 49ers. Let me just say this right now. John Lynch, you're a genius for getting him. And I wish you guys got him. I wish the Niners got him sooner, because this team could have been a threat in the NFC wild card or in the playoffs if they got Jimmy G before October 31st. So this Niners team is definitely on the right track with Jimmy Garoppolo, or Jimmy G Money, quarterbacking them next season. They just need some help. Then on the other side, you have the Rams, who are coming off a big win over the Tennessee Titans on the road, clinching their first division title since 2003. I think they went from worst to first, because I think they were the worst team last season, and they are now the best team this season. So Jared Goff had a big-time game with over 4 touchdowns. Todd Gurley, saying it right now. Todd Gurley for MVP right now. Put him in that race. He had over 276 total yards, 158 receiving yards, and 118 rushing yards. Need I say more? This guy is going to be in this race for the MVP with Brady, Wilson, Antonio Brown. Put Todd Gurley's name up there. Their defense stepped up, and they're looking to go into the playoffs. Even though they don't have a lot of playoff experienced players, they're looking to show that the Rams are back, and they're back in the playoffs, and they're looking to shake it up in the NFC. So coming from me in this matchup, I am taking... This one's tough because I picked against the Niners, and I did not even expect the Niners to win that game against Jacksonville. But again, Rams could rest some starters, so they'll be ready for the playoffs. Man, this one's tough. I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams to defeat the San Francisco 49ers in another close matchup. And now the final matchup of Week 17. It is an NFC West showdown featuring the Arizona Cardinals heading to CenturyLink Field to face my second favorite team, my Seattle Seahawks. Now the Arizona Cardinals are coming off a big win over the lowly New York Giants on Sunday. Drew Stanton had a pretty solid game. Larry Fitzgerald, another 100 yards and a touchdown. And this is Larry Fitzgerald. Looks like his final game, but hopefully he will be back, and maybe hopefully he will be moved to a team that can actually win a playoff game and maybe actually win the Super Bowl. No offense to Arizona, but you really don't have a chance of winning the Super Bowl with the Arizona Cardinals. No offense. I know they've been there before, but if he was on a team like any NFC or AFC team, he would be top wide receiver, and he would win. He would have his ring finally. But Arizona is looking to get back to form next season, and hopefully they'll have Carson Palmer. Then on the other side, you have my Seattle Seahawks. They're coming off a huge win on the road over the Dallas Cowboys, knocking the Cowboys out of the playoffs. Russell Wilson had a big-time game with 2 touchdowns to Dougie Baldwin and Jimmy Golden Grams. Their defense stepped up, even though they don't have their big players like Richard Sherman or Earl Thomas. Not Earl Thomas. A few of their players from the Legion of Boom, but they got it done when it mattered, and they're fighting for their playoff lives, because if Atlanta loses to Carolina and my Seahawks defeat the Arizona Cardinals, the Hawks will be back in the playoffs. So I'll have both my favorite teams in the playoffs once again this year. So coming from me in this final matchup of Week 17 in the NFC West, again, it would be something to have my Patriots in the AFC and my Seahawks in the NFC in the playoffs. So coming from me, I am taking my Seattle Seahawks to defeat the Arizona Cardinals and get back to the NFC playoffs. And those are my Week 17 NFL predictions. Now, I hope you guys did enjoy this week's Week 17 predictions. Comment below. Who do you have winning all the matchups in Week 17? Who do you have winning the NFC South? Who do you have winning those final wildcard spots in the AFC and the NFC? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's have a conversation about it. Of course, I will see your comments, like them, and of course reply right back to you, because comments are absolutely always welcome on this channel. Now, I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching this week's NFL predictions and all of my NFL predictions this whole year. Again, thank you guys so very much. Now, before you go, you can never forget to do this. That like button, comment, share with your friends. Of course, super kick that like button like only you guys can. Of course, you can never forget to do this as well. That subscribe button, become part of this bigger and dangerous Lions. And I hope you guys have a very happy new year. And I will see you guys in January for my NFL Playoffs 2017 wildcard predictions. Later days and peace.